Psalm 32. This one hits a little close to home to me because I've lived a life similar to David, and you can take that for what you want. My sins aren't as public as David's, but if you're living in a state of guilt and shame and despair, I know what that feels like, and I understand. And this psalm gives you hope. So let's talk about it. Psalm 32 is one of the 7 traditional psalms, and the first 2 explicitly pronounce the blessedness of forgiveness. Traditions it attributes to David, likely after his aftermath with Bathsheba in the book of Samuel. And when the weight of unconfessed guilt nearly crushed him, the psalm moves into 3 clear movements that I've taken away here. The first is the joy of being forgiven. David says, "Blessed is the one whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered." David stacks up transgression as rebellion, sin, missing the mark, iniquity, or perversion, to show that God's forgiveness is comprehensive. Nothing is left uncovered, nothing held against the repentant soul. Paul quotes these verses in Romans 4 to prove that justification is by faith apart from works. The truly happy person is not the one who never sins, but the one whose sins are no longer counted. Second is the misery of unconfessed sin, verse 3 and 4. When David kept silent, his body wasted away. The physical imagery of bones groaning, God's hand is heavy upon him, life's vitality sapped like water in a summer drought. Merely a moral problem, or unconfessed sin is not merely a moral problem, but it is a whole person affliction, body, emotions, and spirit. Silence before God becomes self-torment. The third, the relief and safety of confession. The turning point is simple and stark. I acknowledged my sin, and you forgave the iniquity of my sin. No lengthy penance, no probation, just confession, met instantly with pardon. From that experience, David draws a universal promise. God becomes a hiding place, who preserves the repentant from trouble and surrounds them with songs of deliverance. The psalm ends with instruction in verses 8 and 9. God himself speaks, urging us not to be like a stubborn mule that needs bit and bridle. And a final contrast, the wicked have many sorrows, but the one who trusts in the Lord is enveloped in steadfast love. So in the end, Psalm 32 is a short theology of repentance and grace. It teaches that true blessedness is not sinlessness, but forgiveness. That hiding sin only multiplies pain. And that the moment we stop covering ourselves, God covers us freely, fully, and forever. The righteous do not rejoice because they have no sin, but because they have a God who delights to remove it the instant it is confessed. So be glad in the Lord, and rejoice, O righteous, and shout for joy, all you upright in heart. Verse 11. That shout is the sound of a conscience set free. And with that, remember, you are called to freedom.